Welcome to the Transformational Coach podcast with me, Rona Barton, giving you competence with confidence. In this week's podcast, we're still working within our main topic of energy and focus. However, our subject for this week is energy, passion and commitment. So I'm wondering, what energises you in your life? And when do you feel most passionate and enthusiastic? You've probably already learned that you need to grab your notepad and pen as we work through these podcasts together, because I always have questions for you. So those are your first for this week. What energises you in your life? And when do you feel most passionate and enthusiastic? Hopefully you'll know now to make a list so you can see it quite clearly for you. When you're thinking about the goals that you've set yourself, which of your goals energises you? And if you don't have any that really give you that buzz, really get you excited and enthusiastic about them, what goals would energise you? How can you change them so that they work better for you? It's great when you do get passionate and enthusiastic and energetic about the goals that you've got ahead of you. And certainly when I was thinking about starting this podcast, I had lots of ideas, lots of things buzzing about my head, and I had notes galore scattered across pieces of paper and different notebooks depending on what I had to hand at the time. But when I actually sat down to focus on it, I realised there were some aspects of what I was looking at that didn't really grab my attention. You know, they didn't fill me with as much enthusiasm as I had expected. So what that meant for me is that I had to rejig what I thought I wanted from my podcast and how I thought I wanted to carry out the podcast. There were some aspects when I looked at it that I felt were quite draining mentally for me. You know, they took quite a lot of thought process and brain power that I didn't necessarily have to give at that point, and others that I felt drained me physically. And I'm wondering that when you think about your own goals, you think about what you want to achieve in your life, which of those do you feel drains you mentally and which drains you physically? And is there a source of energy inside you that never dries up? This is something I notice in young kids. They just seem to be never-ending little batteries, you know, perpetual motion. They just keep going until eventually they are completely drained physically, emotionally, mentally, and then they fall asleep and all they're doing is recharging batteries. That's all it seems like. So what do you do to recharge your batteries? What do you do that helps regenerate that energy inside you that means you will keep going, that will show up day after day, that will be your motivation? What is your why around what you're doing? And if you do ever feel that energy inside you slipping or dipping, what steps could you take to feel more energized or more passionate about your life? So for me, it can be little things that give me a bit of a boost, and sometimes it's not even related to the goal that I have in mind. Sometimes it could just mean that I want to sit down with a half-hour comedy on a subscription service or something that's on television and just completely switch off from my goal, my objective, and reset my brain. Have a really good belly laugh at some ridiculous comedy that is going on, or some of these panel shows that are on television within the UK that really, the quick-wittedness of the people on it just hits my funny bone, quite the thing, and I end up with quite a good laugh at it. A proper, as I say, belly laugh giggle. And it means that I've just taken myself out of that all-encompassing environment of constantly working towards a goal or striving to achieve something, I've given myself a bit of a break and I've re-energized myself. And that's one way that I do it. I also enjoy chatting with my family, with my friends, again, something that is unrelated to my goals, unrelated to my expectations. It could very well be that we go out for a cycle or we go out for a walk, we spend time outdoors. Nature can have a very healing, a very positive impact on your mental well-being as well as your physical and emotional well-being. And sometimes just stepping away from technology, stepping away from a comfort zone to some extent, just allows you to take a break long enough and reset your energy centre. Now, I also know some people enjoy the likes of meditation, and I've been contemplating recording a guided meditation. It's something that I did a few years ago, and I've received some really nice feedback on it. And I wonder if I would record that as a podcast episode one week. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that. Would you like to hear, as one of the podcast episodes, a guided relaxation session? Let me know what you think. In other news, whilst I'm looking at what energises me, what I'm passionate about, and how I really reclaim and maintain my commitment to my goals, I had a really nice voice message from a friend of mine, somebody I did my coaching training with, telling me that she'd listened to the podcast. Now, I haven't let my coaching group, the people I trained with, know about my podcast yet, mainly because I've been caught up with other things, not that I didn't want to tell them. But this friend of mine got in touch and left me a voicemail saying how proud she was of me for doing this. And it was so lovely to hear. It really just reiterated to me the fact that starting this podcast was a good idea. She may be my only listener, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind at all. I do appreciate her ears taking on board what I'm saying, and giving me some of that feedback as well. And I think for me, it's been more poignant because this is somebody who has she is mind-blowingly amazing. Some of the challenges that she's dealt with in her life and what she does with her business and how she's moving from full-time employment to self-employment. I really admire what she's been doing, and she's often in my mind when I think, can I do this? And I think about the people that I have in my life who have done so much more than I have and so many things differently to me. And I think, wow, they have the courage and the confidence to do that. So, why can't I? So I want you to think about that as well. Think about the people in your life who you admire and who have been through some challenges. But you also know people that have come through those challenges and have been able to give themselves permission to go after their own goals and hopes and dreams, and they keep plugging away at it. Sometimes it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight, unfortunately. But these people that you admire, look at them, think about what perhaps they do to gain their confidence and maintain their commitment, their passion, and really focus their energies into their goals. What can you learn from them? As ever, please do get in touch. Let me know what you think of this episode. And please do feel free to share the links for each of these episodes. It's always nice to hear about new listeners, new people getting involved. And thank you to everybody who has reached out and sent me messages, either privately or on the likes of my social media accounts. It's very much appreciated. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, no matter what it is you're doing. And I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.